So today, let's dive into a story about a guy who woke up angry at the world every single day. That is, until a simple 5-minute practice changed not just his mornings, but pretty much his entire life. You know that feeling, right? Before your feet even touch the floor, your mind is already just racing. It's filled with worries, problems, everything that could go wrong. You feel defeated before the day has even properly begun. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, then this story is definitely for you. Okay, so let's meet Daniel. He's 35, he's an accountant, lives in a big city. And if you looked at his life from the outside, you'd think, wow, this guy has it all figured out. But on the inside, for him, every single morning is a battlefield. So picture this. The alarm goes off, and what's his very first thought? It's dread. He immediately grabs his phone, and for the next 10 minutes, he just scrolls, filling his mind with news that makes him angry and social media posts that make him feel like his life isn't good enough. He's literally lost the battle for the day before he's even gotten out of bed. And this constant loop of negativity, it wasn't just ruining his mornings. It was like a poison, seeping into every single part of his life. Even when something good happened, like getting a raise at work, it couldn't cut through that fog of negativity. And honestly, something had to give. He was getting close to a breaking point. I mean, look at this. On paper, everything looks perfect, right? A stable job, a nice apartment, he's financially secure. But his reality, it was a totally different story. It was just constant dread, this stress that was always there, and this deep, deep feeling of being inadequate. The outside just did not match the inside. You know, sometimes the wake-up call, it comes from the person closest to you. For Daniel, that was his girlfriend, Sarah. One evening, she just looked at him and said, "You act like life is a punishment instead of a gift." And those words, they stung. They really stung, because he knew deep down that she was right. So after that conversation, Daniel couldn't sleep. He got up way before sunrise and just went for a walk to clear his head. And there, in this quiet park, he sees this elderly man just sitting peacefully on a bench, smiling to himself. This simple, completely unexpected encounter, it was about to change everything. Daniel ended up talking to the man, and he asked him, what's your secrets? How are you so genuinely happy? And the old man just kind of smiled and said something that completely reframes everything. Happiness isn't something you find, it's something you practice. Like any skill, you get good at what you do every day. The old man basically gave Daniel a diagnosis. He said, "My friend, you've been training your mind to see problems. Every morning you practice negativity, and now you're very, very good at it." And what's wild is what this old man was describing, it's something neuroscientists are talking about right now. Our brains build pathways based on repetition. Daniel hadn't just picked up a bad habit. He had literally wired his brain for unhappiness. To make it super clear, the man used this really powerful analogy. He picked up 2 stones from the ground, a dark one that represented worry, fear, and complaining, and a light one for gratitude and appreciation. He said our mind is like a garden. Whichever seeds you choose to plant, well, that's what's going to grow. And for years, Daniel had only been planting the dark stones. Okay, so that's the problem, right? You've been planting the wrong seeds. The big question is, how do you start planting different ones? Well, the old man shared a simple 5-minute practice. It was designed to completely replant the garden of Daniel's mind. The practice itself is unbelievably simple. Every single morning before you do anything else, and this is key, especially before touching your phone, you open a notebook and you write down 3 specific things you are grateful for. And the challenge? Just commit to doing it for 30 days straight. Okay, and this is probably the most important part of the whole thing. It is all about being specific. So don't just write "my coffee." Write "the smell of the coffee brewing in my kitchen this morning." Don't just write "my family." Write "the way Sarah laughed at that dumb joke I told last night." Why? Because as the old man said, these small, specific things, that is the life you are actually living. They're real. They're happening right now. So Daniel, he was skeptical, but he figured, what have I got to lose? He committed. He bought the notebook and he started the 30 days. And what happened next wasn't some loud, dramatic explosion. It was a quiet, but absolutely profound transformation. And look, the first couple of days, they were awkward, super forced. I mean, on day 1, he literally wrote, "The bed was comfortable." But then, around day 12, something started to shift. He found himself looking for good things during his day, just so he'd have something to write about the next morning. Then Sarah noticed. She said, "You seem lighter lately." By day 25, he was waking up before his alarm, actually excited to do it. His whole foundation had started to change. So later, when he saw the old man again in the park, Daniel said something really profound. He said, "I didn't realize how much I'd lost until I started finding it again." He was rediscovering joy and appreciation and just the ability to be present in his own life, things he honestly thought were gone for good. And here's the thing, Daniel's story, it's not really just about Daniel, is it? It's a blueprint. It's a powerful reminder that we don't have to be victims of our own negative thought patterns. We can actually choose to practice something different, because it all boils down to this one single powerful idea. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control where you place your attention. And where you place your attention, that is what determines your entire experience of life. So that leaves you with a choice, a real one. You can wake up tomorrow the exact same way, reaching for your phone, scrolling, and starting the day on defense. Or you could place a notebook by your bed tonight and decide to try something different. What choice are you going to make? Because at the end of the day, this whole story, this whole idea, it comes down to one simple truth. Life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by choice. And that choice, it can start with just 5 minutes tomorrow morning.